Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'll be sharing two books, which is Atomic Habits and Psychology of Money. And I just wanted to say that this YouTube channel is very new, so if you have liked this video, please feel free to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For me, reading books like this really requires me to humble myself and accept the fact that I have still a lot to learn. So the time spent while reading these books feels like the book is really trying to convince you over and over again, and it is likely that your mindset will change, and in the end you yourself will change. So I really recommend that reading a book during your free time is a really good option to pass that time, because it really helps you and gives a lot of benefit. So before we get into the book, I wanted to share that since I was small, my mom always tells me building a good habit is really important, but I really wasn't convinced by that time. But after reading this book, I found out that there are some points that are really convincing, and there are also a few ways that this book has mentioned that how to build a good habit more easily. First up, success is a product of daily habit, but not once in a lifetime transformation. So this book taught me that we really should be more concerned with our current trajectory than with our current result. And we really should focus on improving our system, because we might set a goal that we wish to achieve one day, but it is our current system that actually leads us towards those goals. So sometimes you might hear from the news that certain people suddenly become successful and famous by maybe inventing stuff, or a singer that you never even heard of suddenly release a music that goes viral on the internet. But these breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions, which builds up the potential required to unleash a major change. I really like a statistical data that shows that if an individual have improved themselves by 1% every single day, and they do it consistently throughout the year, so by the end of the year they would have improved 37 times compared to their initial state. And to be honest, this result really shocks me, and because I really never expect something so small and even can be considered a negligible improvement that is done consistently every day to have produced such a shocking result. And this is really one of the things in this book that really has blown my mind. Number 2, changing your identity. So instead of wanting to read books every single day, this book suggests that I identify myself as a reader. This is actually quite interesting, because if I don't identify myself as a reader, the action of reading books every single day actually contradicts my identity. And this contradiction will actually make the action to be harder to pull off. And this is actually the same for those people who maybe want to eat more healthy and exercise daily, or maybe they want to sleep early. You just need to identify yourself as someone who exercise, or someone who sleep early, or someone who want to eat healthy. So the next thing I want to share is how to build a better habit in 4 simple steps. So before you change your behavior, you can ask yourself that how to make it obvious, how to make it easy, how to make it attractive, how to make it satisfying. For me, I have been trying to build a habit of reading. So as you can see, there's a lot of books at home that I haven't even begun to read yet. But I find a physical book such as this very bulky and inconvenient to bring around. So to solve that problem, I actually bought myself an ebook which is called Kindle, and this is a product from Amazon. Till today, I'm still allocating some of my time to read a book, and it is really an interesting experience to read books from an ebook. And with an Amazon Kindle with you, you can actually bring it anywhere, like you're going to a restaurant or you're going to shopping, and while you're waiting for something and you're idling somewhere, you can read some books instead of playing with your phone. Now let's talk about the downside of creating good habits. The term habit is a thing that you do often and almost without thinking, especially something that is hard to stop doing. So let's say we have started building a habit and we are doing it consistently every single day, but in some cases this might be a bad thing because we might stop paying attention to the little errors in the habit itself and assume that we are getting better by gaining experiences from it. Sure, there are some habits that doesn't really require improvement, such as tying your shoes or making yourself a cup of tea or maybe a coffee. Well, those habits are things that when they are good enough, they mean that they are good enough. But there are certain habits that really require improvements, because in some cases you can't just repeat your old habits and expect that one day you'll become exceptional. Habits are necessary, but they are not sufficient for mastery. This book tells me that what you need is a combination of habits and deliberate practice. There's a statement in this book that quotes that mastery is the process of narrowing your focus to a tiny element of success, repeating it until you have internalized the skill, and then using this habit as the foundation to advance to the next frontier of your development. All tasks will become easier the second time around, but it doesn't get easier overall because now you're pouring your energy into the next challenge. Each habit unlocks the next level of performance. It's an endless cycle. So this is the end of my first book review, and now I will get into the second book, which is The Psychology of Money, written by Morgan Housel. So the overall content of this book is doing well with money has a lot to do with how well you behave, but not how smart you are. Or in other words, you just need to engage in the right behavior and you'll be more likely to succeed. So this book also mentioned that outcomes are often determined by more than effort itself. So you can be smart at doing something, or you can put a lot of effort into doing something, but without the intervention of luck and risk, you are also likely to fail. For the example, I would like to share a story about Bill Gates and his friend. So if Gates didn't attend one of the only high school in 1968 that have a computer, and without the support of his teacher Bill Doggle, it is unlikely that Gates have achieved success. Well, actually Bill Gates also admitted himself that if there had been no Lakeside High School, there would have been no Microsoft. But it is not likely the same case for a good friend of Gates. So Ken Evans is also working alongside Gates in high school, but unfortunately he is involved with a mountaineering accident before graduation and passed away. If risk does not play a role here, Ken Evans would likely have been as successful as Gates right now. So luck and risk are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by forces other than individual effort. They both happen because the world is too complex to allow 100% of your actions to dictate 100% of your outcomes. So the next thing I want to share is compounding. I believe most of you have heard of the name Warren Buffett before, but for those of you who don't know, Warren Buffett is actually a famous investor and the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. So Warren Buffett isn't just a good investor, but he's also a good investor for 25 and more years. And since he was a kid, at the age of 11, he had already started to learn how to invest. So Warren Buffett might have a good skill in investing, but his secret is time. Good investing isn't necessarily about earning the highest returns. It's about earning pretty good returns that you can stick with and which can be repeated for the longest period of time. That's when compounding runs wild. third, wealth is what you don't see. An interesting fact that this book has mentioned is that the rich are actually different than the wealthy. So for the people who are rich, they often have big incomes and likes to display the fact that they are rich to other people. So for example, the rich often buys large houses, drives fancy cars, and wears expensive and fancy products. But wealth is hidden. Wealth is money saved but not spent. Wealth is flexibility, optionality, and growth. Wealth is the ability to buy stuff when in time of need. So someone driving a $100,000 car might be wealthy, but the truth is that their wealth is $100,000 less than they did after they bought the car. And there are also some people claiming that they want to be a millionaire, but the truth is they actually want to spend $1 million, which is the complete opposite of becoming a millionaire. 4. Save money. This book mentions that there are 3 types of person in the world. The first one is those who save. The second one is those who don't think they can save. And the third one is those who don't think they need to save. And savings are actually extremely important because your savings rate are actually most important than your investment returns and your income. So getting money, or I can say earning money, requires you to put yourself out there or even take risks and being optimistic. But save money actually requires the complete opposite of getting money. It requires humility and fear that what you have earned will be just taken away from you just as fast. There's an interesting mindset that I would like to share that would probably and hopefully help you on saving money, is that when you see a $300 item with 50% discount and you bought it, the truth is that you didn't save $150, but instead you just spent $150. So that is not saving money. So next, I would like to share the man in the car paradox. This book tells us that when you see someone driving a very nice car, you rarely think that, wow, that guy driving that car is so nice or so cool. But actually, subconsciously or not, you actually think that if I had that car, people would think that I am cool. There's a paradox here. People tend to want wealth to signal to others that they should be liked and admired. But in reality, those other people often bypass admiring you, not because they don't think wealth is admirable, but because they use your wealth as a benchmark for their own desire to be liked and admired. You might think you want an expensive car, a luxury house, or an expensive watch, but in truth that you don't. Because what you actually want is respect and admiration from other people. And in reality, those things almost never bring what you want, especially from those that you want to be respected and admired from. The last one, money and happiness. So the real reason why we want money is that what we really want is happiness. Yes, money can buy happiness, that is true. But past a certain point, more money cannot buy you more happiness. This book also tells us that time is extremely valuable and even more valuable than money itself. And there's an interesting statement that this book has mentioned, is that the flexibility of control over your time is an unseen return of wealth. And the control over your time and options is becoming one of the most valuable currencies in this world. There's a quote in this book that I really like, is that money's greatest intrinsic value, and this can't be overstated, is its ability to give you control over your time. Using your money to buy time and options has a lifestyle benefit that few luxury goods can offer. Alright, this is the end of my video, and if you really like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comment of what you think. Thank you. Bye bye.